here it is. I've been thinking about making this video for a while, and seeing as we're coming really close to the first day of recording, I wanted to tell you all the full story of how my X-Men fan film came to be. It all started around, I'd say probably a year and a half ago. Me and my friend Delvis, who you all know is playing Cyclops, we loved making little comedy skits and movies. As you can see over my channel, I have loads of little comedy bits and that. But me and Delvis always loved making movies. Like, what we would do is we'd get a movie on, go through the movie, pause each line, write our own one, and do a whole like comedy parody version of that movie. And we absolutely loved doing it. And we both loved, obviously, superheroes. And we was always thinking, you know, we really want to do like a real, serious, actual superhero movie. So I was like, one day I was just thinking, like, I really want to do that. Like, let's go, let's do it. So I was thinking, what could I do? I was thinking, well, Gambit. Gambit is my favourite character. Maybe I could do a Gambit solo film, like, because that would be pretty fun. So I was thinking, okay, let me find some Gambit solo storylines. So I eventually found, I think it was called like The Trial of Gambit. I might be getting that confused with The Trial of Magneto, but it was a thing where Magneto was kind of getting trialed by the X-Men for his crimes. And I was making sure it had a lot of Rogue and Gambit chemistry in it, because I loved Rogue and Gambit's chemistry. So I was researching, I was thinking, well, this has all the X-Men in it. Why should I just make it a Gambit film? I may as well just make an X-Men film. So at that point, I scrapped the Gambit solo film. I was like, let's do a full X-Men film, which later, at times, I'm come to regret. So I went through hundreds of different X-Men storylines until I summed up to these 7, I think it was, and I eventually chose Mutant Genesis. So I had no time to waste. I got a notepad out of stuff I'd want to write down, got my laptop, and started writing the movie. But one of the first things I'd realised is that, well, this team has a lot of people, a lot of mutants, a lot of people, right? I will not be able to have that many people. So what I did was I just simply chose out my favourites. I made sure Gambit and Rogue have to be there. You kind of have to have Cyclops and Jean on an X-Men team. And, you know, people love Wolverine. We'll put Wolverine in there. So that's how the team was made. So I'd written the movie. It took about a month of writing. Finished it. I read through it and thought, it's a bit jumpy. Like, it really opens up then to the fight, then they go in the Blackbird, then to another fight, and then they go to another fight, and another fight, and then it's done. So I went back through the movie, added in my own little parts in the mansion, and then I thought, okay, that's the movie done. It's so good. I'm so proud of it. But then, the big secret that I've told you guys about, which I'm not revealing, I was thinking, I really want to add this in, but I'm not going to just add it in if it doesn't fit into the story. But then I figured out a way, I figured out the thing, and I was like, yes, that fits, I'm going to do it. Some people might not like it, some people will love it, but I'm making this movie because I want to. Obviously I'm making it for X-Men fans, but I'm not going to let what other people think impact my decisions, because I'm not just making it for the views and all that. I'm making it just purely because I just want to. So yeah, then after that, I think, okay, there it is, it's done. Amazing, fantastic, love it. But then I read through it again and I'm thinking, okay, well, that doesn't make sense because she doesn't know who he is. They just came from there and he's meant to be injured. How does that make sense? So then I added in even more scenes in between the fights. And then I thought, you know what? Magneto is really barely has any scenes. Like, he's really just kind of there when the X-Men are. So I went through the whole movie, added a bunch of new Magneto scenes. And then I read through it again, and I was always iffy on what the ending was. I never really 100% liked what I did for the ending. So a few weeks ago, I changed the entire ending. The whole ending completely changed, and I loved it so much better. But then, over this course of writing the movie, I've also had to take into consideration what is possible and what isn't. Because I'm not a big studio, right? I'm one guy with a few friends making this movie. I've got to be realistic and think, can I do that? I can't really. Can I do that? Yeah, I can. So I'd had to go through the movie and think, I can do that. No, I've got to change that. I can do that. I've got to change that. You know, I had to be realistic with it, which kind of sucked a bit because I was like, I was really excited to do that, but I guess I was just a bit too excited. But yeah, that's just the truth about making a fan film. You've got to be honest with what you can and what you can't do. But during that writing process, even when I started writing this movie, I had a cast down. I had a cast apart from Rogue. I didn't know who was going to be Rogue. So I was like, I'll think about that later. But I had my Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and obviously me as Gambit down. And Professor X, I had that down as well. So I was happy I was doing that. Until about 2 months ago, I made the group chat for the movie, just so then I could just send updates into one place and it'll all be there. But then I'd realised that the people I had for Wolverine and Professor X didn't really want to do it. So I was like, okay, it's fine, you don't want to do it, fine. It was a bit frustrating, because I was like, great, what am I going to do? But it was fine. I went to one of my friends, Alfie, asked him, hey Alfie, would you want to be a part of this X-Men fan film I'm writing? You could be Wolverine and Professor X. And he was like, yeah, sure, fuck yeah, I'll do it. So big thanks to Alfie for saving the movie. But then also, I didn't have a Rogue. And it was like, damn it, what am I going to do for Rogue? Until about in March, I met this girl called Mia. She liked everything I liked. I'd met her at a Comic-Con before, actually. And we really hit it off. We spoke for a bit. We eventually got together. And I asked her, Mia, would you like to be in the role? Would you like to be Rogue in an X-Men movie? Mix? She said, of course I would. I'd love to, because she does anything to make me happy. Bless her heart. But she'd asked her parents, because she lives quite a while away from me. Her parents said, yeah, all cool. You can go down, record that movie, whatever. Until literally 2 days ago, she'd asked her parents again, and they started going, no, you're not going down there. I'm like, she's like, what? Why? She's like, well, because I don't want you sleeping at his. I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. So her mum was like, oh, we'll go at a hotel. But then her dad was like, no. So then it was like, great, under 2 weeks till recording, and I don't have a Rogue now. Amazing, great. So I was like, I made a video on TikTok saying, does anyone want to play Rogue? Just got a bunch of people taking the piss out of me on that one. I messaged Billy, asking, Billy, I know you have some people that you told me about would want to be in another movie. Do you have anyone? Put it on my fucking Snapchat story, until Billy's girlfriend, Max, messaged saying, who's the character? What is it? Explain to her. And I was like, would Billy be fine with you, like, being Rogue? Because I am kind of Gambit. And Billy was like, yeah, it's completely fine. It's completely fine. So I was like, oh, okay, bet. We got a Rogue. We're fine. But that, like, 5-6 hours that I didn't have a Rogue was some of the most stressful of my life. But we finally had a Rogue. So yeah, that's really the story, apart from one key aspect that I'm going to talk about now. Under 2 weeks till recording. It's been great. It's been some of the best times of my life. I'm not going to lie. I've had so much fun doing this. But something people don't talk to you about is the hate that you're going to get. Now, I've left school now. Did my GCSEs in summer. I've left school. Obviously, something I would change was I would have started promoting my X-Men movie a lot earlier than I did. But when I did, a lot of people from school who, well, honestly, I was not the most popular guy at school. I was bullied. I was bullied out my old school. I was not the coolest. I was one of the quieter people. A lot of people from school, like, the Scouse trim, big bully lads, commenting on my videos going, oh, can I play Wolverine? Oh, I think I might want to be Rogue. Just taking the piss out of it. You should see my blocked list. My blocked list on my acting account on TikTok is crazy. But yeah, and a lot of the time, especially when I'd lost my Rogue and they would take the piss out of it, it was like, just fuck off. Like, you bullied me in high school. We're done with high school. Isn't this the time to grow up? But also, just other random people saying horrible things. And that's the thing. You've got to deal with it. You've got to take it on the chin. You just got to ignore it. Because I was not going to let anyone stop me from making this movie. But yeah, the hate, people don't tell you about it, but it can get to you sometimes. Yeah, really, that's the story. And now it is under 2 weeks till I actually start recording the movie. I cannot thank you guys enough. I cannot thank my friends enough for helping me make this movie come to life. I am so excited for you all to see it.